Hello. So we're talking about Elisha, who took Elijah's place. And he's really showing that he's a man of God. So this is a fun story. It's about a lady. She's called a Shunammite. A Shunammite woman. That's all we know her about. We don't know her name's Elizabeth or Lisa or whatever. So one day Elisha went to the city called Shunem, and a well-to-do woman was there who urged him to stay for a meal. So she was called the Shunammite woman. And she must have cooked really good, because every time he went to town, he went and ate at her house. And she was well-to-do, which means she had a lot of money, and she probably had a really big kitchen, and maybe even some chefs, I don't know. Or maybe she just was able to spend all of her time cooking good food, since she didn't have a job. So Elisha got used to going by and getting food. Alright? And then she said to her husband, I know this man who often comes our way is a holy man of God. Let's make a small room for him. So they built onto their house on the roof, and they made a room more like a little furnished apartment, because they made a bunch of furniture and put it in there. And anytime he came through town, he could stay there. So she's really taking good care of Elisha. And she's feeding him, and anytime he comes through, he can stay at her house. Because she sees that God's Spirit is on him, so she's being smart. So then Elisha got his servant, whose name was Gehazi, and he said, he went to his room one day and to lay down, and he got his servant Gehazi, and he said, call the Shunammite woman. So they called her, and she stood before them. Elisha said to Gehazi, I don't know why he's not talking to her. Maybe he doesn't know the language. It's the only thing I could think of. But he said, tell her, you have gone to all this trouble for us. Now, what can be done for you? Can we speak to the king on your behalf, or the commander of the army? And she replied, I have a home among my people. Basically, she said, I got everything I need. I'm here with my family's here. I got a nice house. I don't need anything. Okay? So, as we read through this, we hear, we kind of get this sense that this might have taken a little while, like a day or two. Because Elisha's still asking, well, what can be done for her? And Gehazi said, well, she has no son, and her husband is old. And the reason I think this might have taken a little while, because right then then Elisha said, call her. Okay, so apparently she left. They talked about it a little bit, and then she came back, because he said, call her again. So it's not like she stayed there while they were having this conversation. And he said, so they called her, and she stood in the doorway about that. And he said, about this time next year, you will hold a son in your arms. So Elisha apparently was going to pray to the Lord that she would have a baby boy. Okay? And this is her response. She's not super excited or super awesome. Yay, praise the Lord. Her response was, don't mislead me. No, my Lord, do not mislead me. And basically what she's saying is, don't get my hopes up. It sounds like maybe she had wanted a baby her whole life, had never been able to have a baby, and when he says, you're going to have a baby next year, she's like, no, don't get my hopes up, because it'll just break my heart, because it sounds like maybe that's what she's wanted her whole life. But the woman became pregnant, and the next year at that same time, she had a baby boy. And the boy grew, and one day it went out to the field with its daddy, with the reapers, with the people that harvest. And he started complaining, and he was complaining. He said, my head, exclamation point, exclamation point. So he had one of his servants take him, and he went, and his mama was holding him and rocking him and trying to take care of him. And then she held him till noon, and at noon the boy died. So the mom said to one of the servants, carry him she went and she laid the boy on the bed of the man of God. The apartment, Elisha's apartment, she took the boy to his apartment, put the boy on Elisha's bed. And then she proceeds to do this kind of weird thing. She doesn't tell her husband that the boy has died. She just says to her servant, please send to... She called her husband and said, please send one of your servants with a donkey so I can go see the man of God quickly. And her husband says, well, it's not like Sunday. Basically, he says it's not the new moon or the Sabbath, so why are you going to go see the pastor? It's not Sunday, and there's no special thing going on at the church. And this is her response. She says, it's all right. Okay? It's all right. She didn't tell him that boy has died or anything. She just said, it's okay. It's all right. So she saddled the donkey and she told the servant, just keep going, go as fast as you can, don't do anything, don't slow down unless I tell you. Just go, go, go. Okay, so when she got close to Elisha, when he saw her at a distance, he said, look, it's the Sheminanite woman. Run and meet her and ask her, is she okay? Is her boy okay? Is her husband okay? So Gehazi went up to her, Gehazi is Elisha's servant. And he asked those questions. Are you all right? Is your husband all right? Is your child all right? And this is what she says. Everything is all right. She said. So, she's just like, she's got this one focus in her brain. She wants to get to Elisha because she knows Elisha is a man of God. And she doesn't tell her husband that the boy died. She says, everything's okay. So then when Gehazi comes up to her, she says, it's all right. And she just runs, and she tries to get to the man of God. She's got a purpose. She wants to get to the man of God. Because he has the power of God. She wants that. She needs that. Her boy's dead. So when she reached the man of God, she took hold of his feet. And when Gehazi came over to push her away, but the man of God, Elisha, said, leave her alone. She's in bitter distress. For some reason, the Lord didn't tell me about this. Says, but the Lord has hidden this from me. She says to him, did I ask you for a son? I didn't ask you for this. You told me I could have it. Didn't I tell you, don't get my hopes up. Don't raise my hopes. She's mad. She's ticked off. She'd wanted a kid for so long, and now her kid's dead. The person that made that happen was Elisha, so she needs to talk to him. So Elisha said, hey, Gehazi, go. Here, get your cloak, tuck it up in your belt, and take my staff and put it on the boy's face. And this is the mama says, the child mother says, as surely as the Lord lives, and as you live, I will not leave you. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving till I get some answers. Till you come and take care of my kid. She's very determined. She wants the power of God. So, Gehazi ran ahead of them, and just like he had said, he put the staff on the boy's face, and nothing happened. Alright, the boy is not awakened. When Elisha reached the house, there was the boy lying dead on his couch, which I guess could have been his bed. Maybe he slept on the couch. Anyways, he went in and he shut the door on them. So mom and the servant just closed the door and he went in. They're outside, he's inside. And he prayed to the Lord. Oh, he prayed hard because he saw that woman who was in so much bitterness of soul and crying. Then he got on the bed, he lay upon the boy, mouth to mouth, hands to hands, eyes to eyes. As he stretched himself out upon the boy's body grew warm. Then Elijah turned away and he walked back and forth. I kind of see that maybe he's pacing. You know what pacing is? Is when you're nervous and you're just walking the floor, trying to figure out what to do. Or maybe you're in deep prayer. A lot of times I'll pray walking. He's walking, he's praying. And Elijah turned away, walked back and forth in the room. Then he got back on the bed, stretched himself out once more, eyes to eyes, mouth to mouth, hands to hands. Elijah stretched himself out on the boy once more. The boy sneezed 7 times and opened his eyes. Then Elisha told Gehazi to go get the Shunammite woman. And when she came, he said, "Take your son." She came, fell at his feet, and bowed to the ground. Then she took her son and went out. So, a healing by putting your hands on someone else's hands and your eyes on their eyes and mouth on their mouth. It's a little bit different way to heal somebody, huh? So, is that a pattern? Because in our lives we do things that worked in the Bible, right? We put oil on people's heads. We lay our hands on them. We try to follow the pattern of things we saw that worked in the Bible, right? So, someone ever dies, keep that in the back of your head. Maybe you can walk back and forth on the floor praying for them and get on top of their body and pray like that. And who knows? Maybe you'll see a miracle. Love to hear about it. You guys have a good night.